The 1930s, a time of turmoil. The world was still reeling from a devastating war. Welcome to Cryptic Mystic Vault, where we unravel the secrets of ancient mysteries, and from the ashes, a new monster arose: fascism. In Italy, Benito Mussolini yearned to recreate the Roman Empire. He cast his gaze upon Africa. But Ethiopia stood defiant, a beacon of independence. Across Europe, the drums of war beat louder. Hitler's Germany rearmed, defying the Treaty of Versailles. The League of Nations seemed powerless. Its pleas for peace fell on deaf ears. The world held its breath, bracing for another conflict. The stage was set for a confrontation that would ignite resistance across Africa. This was not just a war between nations, it was a clash of ideologies, a struggle between freedom and oppression. Ethiopia, a land of ancient kingdoms and fierce warriors, held a special significance for Italy. It was a painful reminder of a humiliating defeat. In 1896, at the Battle of Adwa, Ethiopian forces had crushed an invading Italian army, shattering their colonial ambitions. This victory resonated throughout Africa, a testament to black resistance against European domination. Mussolini craved revenge. He saw the conquest of Ethiopia as a way to avenge this historical humiliation, to assert Italian dominance, and to expand his empire. Ethiopia's strategic location, bordering the Red Sea and the Horn of Africa, made it a tempting prize. But more than just land, Mussolini desired prestige, to be seen as a powerful leader on the world stage. He believed that conquering Ethiopia would cement his legacy and fuel his dreams of a new Roman Empire. This was not just about resources or territory, it was about ego, about rewriting history, about fueling the fires of fascism with the conquest of a proud and ancient civilization. On October 3, 1935, the world watched in horror as Italian forces armed with tanks, airplanes, and poison gas stormed across the Ethiopian border. It was a blatant act of aggression, a violation of international law, and a stark display of the brutal realities of modern warfare. The Ethiopian army, though courageous and determined, was vastly outmatched. They fought bravely with outdated weapons, their traditional tactics no match for Italy's industrialized military might. Emperor Haile Selassie, a symbol of African independence, rallied his people to defend their homeland. He called upon the world to condemn Italy's aggression, to uphold the principles of collective security, and to honor their commitments under the League of Nations. But his pleas fell on deaf ears. The world stood by as a modern-day David faced off against a technologically superior Goliath, the outcome seemingly inevitable. The Ethiopians, though outgunned and outmaneuvered, refused to surrender. They knew the stakes were higher than just territory. They were fighting for their freedom, their culture, their very existence as a nation. In the halls of the League of Nations in Geneva, a lone figure stood tall, his voice echoing through the chamber. Emperor Haile Selassie, his eyes filled with both sorrow and defiance, addressed the assembly. He spoke of the horrors inflicted upon his people, the indiscriminate bombing of civilians, the use of poison gas, the violation of international law. His words, powerful and poignant, exposed the hypocrisy of the world's powers. They had pledged to protect the sovereignty of all nations, yet here they stood, paralyzed by inaction, as Ethiopia burned. His speech became a rallying cry for anti-colonial movements worldwide. It was a testament to the indomitable spirit of a people determined to resist oppression. A stark reminder that silence in the face of injustice is complicity. Haile Selassie's words transcended the walls of the League of Nations, reaching every corner of the globe. He had exposed the moral bankruptcy of the international community, their willingness to appease aggressors for the sake of their own self-interest. His plea for justice, though ultimately ignored, would echo through history, inspiring generations to come. The world watched in anticipation as the League of Nations deliberated on the crisis in Ethiopia. Would they live up to their founding principles and condemn Italy's aggression? Would they impose meaningful sanctions to deter further violence? The answer, tragically, was a resounding no. The League, crippled by self-interest and a lack of political will, proved incapable of fulfilling its mandate. Britain and France, the major powers within the League, prioritized their own strategic interests in Europe over the plight of a distant African nation. They feared that confronting Mussolini would push him closer to Hitler, further destabilizing an already volatile continent. The sanctions they imposed were weak and ineffective, more symbolic than substantive. This betrayal had far-reaching consequences. It emboldened Mussolini, demonstrating the impotence of the international community. It shattered any remaining faith in the League's ability to prevent war, paving the way for the horrors of World War II. The world had abandoned Ethiopia, sacrificing justice and morality on the altar of political expediency. Despite the overwhelming odds, the spirit of the Ethiopian people remained unbroken. They resisted the Italian occupation with unwavering determination and courage. The guerrilla warfare tactics employed by Ethiopian patriots frustrated the Italian forces, who struggled to maintain control over the rugged terrain. The resilience of the Ethiopian people became a symbol of hope and defiance for oppressed nations around the world. Their struggle underscored the universal desire for freedom and self-determination. Even in the face of great adversity, Ethiopia's unyielding spirit shone brightly, a beacon of resistance against tyranny and oppression. This enduring legacy would later inspire many African nations in their own fights for independence, serving as a powerful reminder that the human spirit, when united in the pursuit of justice, can never be truly vanquished. Imagine a world where Ethiopia triumphed over the invading forces. This victory would have emboldened other nations under colonial rule, sparking a wave of resistance and uprisings across Africa and Asia. The League of Nations, having witnessed Ethiopia's resilience, might have taken a firmer stance against aggression, potentially altering the course of World War II. The geopolitical landscape would be vastly different, with a stronger emphasis on collective security and decolonization efforts gaining momentum much earlier. The triumph of Ethiopia would not only signify a monumental victory for a single nation, but also ignite the flames of freedom in the hearts of oppressed peoples worldwide. Imagine a domino effect where one nation's success in defending its sovereignty inspires countless others to rise against their oppressors. The spirit of resistance would be contagious, spreading like wildfire and dismantling the very foundations of colonial empires. In this reimagined world, the League of Nations, galvanized by Ethiopia's victory, could have transformed into a more robust and effective organization. Its newfound resolve would deter future aggressions, fostering a global environment where justice and peace prevail. The lessons learned from Ethiopia's struggle would serve as a blueprint for collective security, guiding nations towards a more harmonious coexistence. As the winds of change sweep across continents, the early momentum for decolonization would reshape global history. Africa and Asia, emboldened by Ethiopia's example, would embark on a path to independence much sooner, altering the power dynamics and paving the way for a more equitable world order. The echoes of Ethiopia's unyielding spirit would resonate through the ages, a testament to the indomitable human will to fight for justice and freedom. In this alternate reality, the legacy of Ethiopia's victory would be a beacon of hope, a powerful reminder that even in the face of overwhelming odds, the human spirit, united in its quest for justice, can triumph over tyranny and oppression. The world reimagined through Ethiopia's eyes would be one where the pursuit of freedom and self-determination reigns supreme, inspiring generations to come. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more explorations into the symbols that shape our world.